Hi everyone, it's Kristie here from KP Creatives with another video for Two Scrapbook Friends. Today we're going to be making some card greetings for crafty friends. I know it's really hard that we haven't been able to gather for some of our big crops for a really long time. So these are some cards you could make for your crafty friends. I plan on sending these out to some of my crafty crew for Valentine's Day, but you could send them any time of year. And we're going to be using a couple of different stencils. One is the Lawn Fawn Conversation Heart stencil. This actually comes with two stencils. We're just going to use the hearts one today, and then we'll use one from Tailored Expressions, and I'll show you how everything comes together on the two cards we're going to make today. We'll pop this up again at the end of the video so that you can take a screenshot if you would like. So there's a couple of things going on today. As I mentioned, we're going to be using the Lawn Fawn Conversations Heart stencil. I've got a piece of Bristol Smooth cardstock already attached to the back of the stencil so that we can do some ink blending. So we'll do that ink blending live in the video. I have already done one so you can see how the Gina K inks blend together after they've been sitting on the paper for a while, just so that you can get a sense of how they work. I know many of you might not have these yet in your collection. They're new to the Two Scrapbook Friends website, and they are a great ink addition to your collection. The other stencil that I've used is from the Calendar Stencil Pack from Tailored Expressions. This stencil pack is awesome. It has 12 stencils of this size available, one kind of for each theme of the month. So there's snowflakes for January, hearts for February, etc., etc. So I did use this one as well, which I'll show you on one of the card fronts that we're going to make today. I've also got some pieces of the Nina Solar White Classic Crest in the 110 pound, cut and scored for 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 square cards. So that's the finished card size that we're going to be working with on our projects today. And to add a little bit of fun, I've got some of these action wobblers from Two Scrapbook Friends. You can get these in a couple of different sizes, in a pack of 6 or just one if you wanted to try it out. But these are going to add a little fun element to our card that's going to make it a little more interactive. So I hope you'll be able to check that out. And if you haven't made or used any of these action wobblers before, hopefully it'll give you some ideas. So the inks we're going to be using are the Gina K inks. I've got an assortment here that I'm going to use to blend a rainbow. So on the card panel that you see here, don't pay attention to the middle because we're covering that up. But this was blended using this assortment of Gina K inks that we've got here. So if these inks are new to you and you're thinking if you want to check them out, add them to your collection, building a rainbow of the same tone of colors is a really great way to start. So we've got Dusty Rose, Peach Bellini, Lemon Drop, Jelly Bean Green, and Ocean Mist. So that's what you've got on this card panel here. Then using that Tailored Expressions stencil, I put it on a diagonal on this 4x4 sheet of the Bristol paper and blended with Apple Mint and Dusty Rose. So that's the two colors on this stencil. And again, you can see how nice that blend is. So I just repeated the Apple Mint on each end and went with the Dusty Rose in the middle. If you wanted to complete the rainbow and go into the purple at the end, I didn't for this one, but you'll see why in a second. I would recommend adding Lovely Lavender. So that gives you a really nice assortment of all colors in the rainbow to be able to get started with those Gina K inks. So hopefully that gives you some ideas for adding those to your collection. So the focal points of the cards we're going to be making today are from the Doodlebug Chit Chat set. So I'm going to flip this little cluster of embellishments over so you can see how this came together. So the spools of thread that are in the Chit Chat collection, there are several of them, and I cut each of them in half. I didn't do it exact. I just took my scissors, eyeballed it, and cut them in half so that I could have 2 of each color. So 2 pinks, 2 orange, 2 yellow, etc., etc. And then I just layered them around this circle embellishment that says, "You're so thoughtful." Very cute. And then I attached the action wobbler on the back. So we're going to attach it to the sewing machine that you'll see in a minute. But basically when this is attached to the front of the card, you can, tap it and it'll wiggle and wobble all around, which is kind of fun. So at the end, we're going to attach this to the ink blended panel. But I want to blend a panel live to show you how great the Gina K inks blend together. So let's get rolling with that. I'm going to bring back our stencil from Lawn Fawn and let's get going with this Dusty Rose ink. So I've got my Gina K blending brushes. I'm going to load up the Dusty Rose. I'm going to start a little heavier handed towards the middle and then really lightly go up into the corner so that we get more concentrated ink near the center. And again, a lot of that center part's going to be covered up. So there's going to be a lot of different colors in that center. Do not worry about it because we're going to cover it up with our main embellishment. So that looks great for Dusty Rose. Now I'm going to move on to Peach Bellini, switch to my orange brush. These little, I don't even know what these are called. Brush markers, let's call them, are from Make It by Marco. And they're great if you have blending brushes that are all the same color. Like I think the ones from Picket Fence Studio, they're all black. I think Honeybees are black. So the Gina K ones are white. So this gives you a great option to be able to know which color family you've assigned to which brush. So if that's something that you need a hand with, definitely check out those brush clips. Maybe that's what they're called, from Make It by Marco. They are great. So you can see here just getting a really nice blend between the Dusty Rose and Peach Bellini. And we're going to have a total of 5 colors along this little rainbow. So I'm going to stop there with the Peach Bellini and we're going to move on to Lemon Drop. I really like the Gina K inks, they're dye inks for blending. I think they're really great and you can get some really nice results and just beautiful colors that go really nicely together. All right, so that's it for Lemon Drop. 2 more here. We've got Jelly Bean Green. If you follow Gina K's videos, Jelly Bean Green is one that she uses quite often, so you'll be able to get lots of ideas of what to do with Jelly Bean Green if you decide to add that one to your crafty stash. And there we go. And again, that middle's getting kind of muddy. Don't worry about it because that's going to be covered up and no one will ever see it. And lastly, we're going to come in with Ocean Mist. So get that loaded up on your blending tool. Come in again a little bit heavier in the center and then just lightly fade that out on the last section of our card front here. I think you just need a little bit more of this Ocean Mist so we can blend it with both the Jelly Bean Green as well as up into the Dusty Rose. There we go. So that really did not take much time at all to be able to blend the 5 colors around that stencil. So I'm going to peel and reveal so you can see how lovely that little rainbow of hearts is. So again, as I mentioned, I already have a panel that was already done because I just wanted to show you the Gina K inks live and then once they've dried because they do smooth out a little bit. So hopefully that gives you a good idea of seeing these inks in action. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to set that one panel off to dry. And we are going to get started on putting this together. So as I mentioned to you before, I had put together this little cluster of embellishments and added the action wobbler to the back. Now I'm going to take the release paper off the back of the wobbler and we're going to put this fairly center on our card front and push down so that is adhered. And now when our recipient gets this, they get a fun little interactive element with this card, which I think is really fun. And I'll put a little message just in the inside for a crafty friend for a Valentine greeting. So all that's left to do on this card is adhere the panel to our card front. So let's get some Lawn Fawn liquid glue on the back of our panel here. And we're gonna bring in our card base. Again, this is the Neenah Classic Crest Solar White. Gonna bring in the Secret Weapon ruler to put this panel down on our card front so that we get a nice even margin all the way around, and we don't have to worry too much about getting things straight because we're coming in 1/8 of an inch from the left hand side, and I can see that we're going to be 1/8 of an inch from the top and the bottom. So that is great. We can press down with confidence and know that our project is going to have a nice straight panel on that card base. So there you go. Isn't that a fun, just a little cool element? Rather than popping something up for dimension or gluing it right down to your card front, it just gives it a little bit of a different element. And then that rainbow follows, just like it does in the spools of threads, follows in the hearts around on the background. So I really like that. Quick, fun, and easy card. So let's do one more. I've already taken that stencil from Tailored Expressions from the calendar pack. I had just adhered it just on an angle, might have been the other way around, on an angle on this piece of the Bristol paper. And again, this was Apple Mint, Dusty Rose, and Apple Mint. And the sentiments, or the elements from the Chit Chat from Doodlebug that I'm going to use for this card are the sewing machine and You're So Sweet. So I'm going to glue the sewing machine right down to the card base. So let's do that first. Get some of that Lawn Fawn liquid glue right on the sewing machine. And we're just going to directly glue that to the front. So we're picking up the nice colors of the light green and the pink. And it's okay if the Lawn Fawn liquid glue oozes out. You can just dab it off with your fingers and it will dry clear, so not to worry at all. Okay, so I'm just gonna wiggle that just a little. All right, so we've got that nicely adhered to our card front, and we're going to grab another one of the Action Wobbles and put that on the You're So Sweet. So that will be popped up and wobble around on the card. So what you want to do once you get your wobble, I've done this both ways, and it seems to work for me both ways just fine. So I'm not sure if there is a right or wrong way to do it, but I'll show you this way and you can test it out. So I've taken the release paper off the one side. I'm going to turn over the You're So Sweet and just very simply pop this down. Press, make sure that's adhered. And there you go. We can see the You're So Sweet is adhered great to the wobble. Now I'm going to take the next set of release paper off the back and put this kind of in the center-ish of the sewing machine. And there we go. So we have another fun little addition to this card, popped right up with the You're So Sweet. Very cute. I really think this is a fun way to use packs of ephemera like that Doodlebug Chit Chat from the Cute and Crafty collection. Really fun to be able to do that. You'll see on the back of this panel, I actually have another ink blended stencil. I tried ink blending with Ocean Mist and Dusty Rose, and I found the blue, my glue tubes run out there. Just let me grab another one. The Ocean Mist was a little too blue for the sewing machine and the ephemera, so I switched up to the Apple Mint. So that's why you see an extra panel there. Rather than leave that for something else, I just flipped it over. So I'm going to bring in another card base and bring back the secret weapon ruler. Mark that at 1/8 of an inch coming in from the left-hand side. Make sure we've got this card panel right side up. And pop this down on our card front. So there we go. 2 really fun ink blended panels with some action wobbles to add a little bit of fun interactivity to your cards. I hope this project has given you some ideas to be able to use, interactive elements like the action wobbles on your cards, as well as how to start to build out an ink collection with the Gina K inks so you can see how they blend in action, and hopefully that gives you some ideas of how to use those. So if you have a moment, please subscribe to our Two Scrapbook Friends YouTube channel. We'd love to have you as subscribers. Give this video a thumbs up, and we will see you next time.